to Marfugle News. Welcome to Marfugle News. Welcome to Marfugle.
What is going on, guys? Welcome to Marfugle News. My name is Adam, aka Marf, and this is going to be a very special episode. We are live on all platforms after a very long time, so stick around. This is going to be amazing. See you in a sec.
Welcome to Marfugle News. 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 Welcome to Marfugle News.
All right. Are you guys ready for this? Are you ready? Make sure to put it in the chat that you are ready, because this is going to be absolutely crazy. Not only because we are back on all platforms, but as well because of the things that we are talking about. Now, a lot of people have been complaining because I have been saying I told you so. I haven't said them in those words, but again, that's not the point. That's not why I'm saying I walked through this exact scenario. There's been a lot of craziness going on, including our task force meeting was, instead of something normal like, hey, this state is now going to be locked down as well, it's been, oh yeah, by the way, we're taking out the cartels. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about, what was said there, and we're going to do it on all platforms. If you've never been here before, maybe I just should remind you, we do have a main channel, Marfugle News, at 154,000 subscribers now. That is where we do our short edited videos. Then we have, of course, this one, Marfugle TV. We have our DLive community of over 14,000, actually about 15,000 pretty soon here. And then, of course, we have ourselves on Twitter and our website, Marfugle News. Now, you can actually follow along with all of the articles we say here today. We don't just say something without backing it up. We actually put a bibliography. Now, when you go to marfuglenews.com, you will actually see that it's organized by thumbnail. When you see this thumbnail, you will actually click on that, and once you click on that, you will get a list of every single article that we are going to read here today, every single tweet, every single video. Anything that we share here, we make it available for you, including down here by the end of the show, we'll actually have the caller info. So if a caller comes in with a crazy video or a crazy document or a crazy archive this or that, we actually give you the access to that too by the end of the show. Now, again, this is done live by the most amazing Dex, who is also going to be screening our calls. I have an entire screen to my left that is actually dedicated to you as the caller. So if you do have those videos, documents, or just say channels, he would put that there, and then I can therefore show you guys. You are in Marfugle Studios East, so why don't you let us know what's going on, and let's do a sound check.
Hello, Adam. I am here. Hello, Fugle fam, on all channels right now. This is so amazing, and I noticed that we're over on the new channel, Periscope, and I can see us just fine. So welcome, everybody. Hey, lots going on. We just got our order in the state. They're going to, I guess, sign it at the state level for our lockdown, if you want to call it. So I've been under it in my county, in my city, and my neighboring counties, but now they're going statewide.
And obviously, that's just Georgia. I am in Washington. Things got a little bit more strict here. They actually did change. They said that there are rules confining you as far as you can't just go anywhere. Before, a lot of people were violating it. And surprisingly, it has not gotten too much worse here, or they say that the curve is doing better. But here's one thing about this. So a lot of people are debating whether this is this or this is that. I'm not going to go exactly over that here, but I am going to tell you, we talked about this in Groves, and I even have mainstream articles that actually back up that, yes, indeed, that they did know. So we'll talk about that later. In fact, I'll just give you kind of a little preview. Exclusive, the military knew years ago that the CV was coming. Again, we'll talk about that here in a minute, but I mean, you guys already know. You watch the show. And by the way, when I say, yes, we talked about that before, it's not a I told you so. It's a we told you so. And the reason why I think that's incredibly important right now is because we need people to listen to us coming forward and going forward. We told you about this. Obviously, we have, and here's the other thing. People that hate on this show, they don't mention our track record. They can mention one thing, which actually now, when people look back at, was Hot Musket, which the Pentagon directly responded to something that came from this show. They directly said, that doesn't exist. In fact, the Pentagon probably sounded something like, that does not exist. And then had their magical fairy go, it's all gone. And Hot Musket, if you want to look into it, there was like probably 300 videos made about it. When you go to it, you wouldn't know that it came from this little show. People then said that the document that the same gentleman who called in about it provided was a test or something like this. But again, that only popped up afterwards. It was really weird. Either way, then a couple months later, we had troops at the border, which is exactly what we were claiming. So again, the whole point is the 99.9% of what we've said, if it's not just a theory that we clarify as, it could be this, it could be that, has actually come to fruition. And that's not because I have a crystal ball. It's not because I am somebody special. It's because of this. It's because of we are someone special. We have all of these people giving information, and they're tiny little pieces of the puzzle. And luckily, I've had a good, staff of people around here that are putting it together. I've got great mods that are incredibly smart, that are all over the country, that are sending info left and right, and they know what's going on. All of us are waking up to this. And somebody said, I said, we are living a nightmare on Twitter. And somebody says, don't be sensationalized. Oh, I'm so tired of this. It's not a nightmare. It's not even that bad. Quit being sensationalized. The planet has shut down. The military is in bunkers. And now we are heading off to an unknown conflict with who knows what consequences. So yes, this is a nightmare. No one in this world, this entire globe, is business as usual. So I don't think I have to sensationalize. All I have to do is show out my window. So therefore, I don't think it's sensationalistic to say, hey, this is what's going on. Unfortunately, people are going to have to look at the hard situation of what is really happening right now and understand that, yes, it is bad. But we can stay positive. We can prepare for what is next. The whole thing is, I talked about Soleimani. I talked about all of this prior. I talked about it last night before 8 hours ago. The T-Man actually posted, and I'll pull that up. That is pretty nuts. This is all nuts. Everything that is going on is absolutely nuts. But again, I'll show you the tweet so you can actually read it. And therefore, look at this. Now, anyone who has watched my show, make sure to put in chat what I have said about Soleimani and how his right-hand man was not hit. Remember this? When right before this happened, T-Man says they took them out. And they said that's because they were planning this gigantic thing. And everybody's like, yeah, sure. Even if they weren't, I told you, that's what they're going to say. And I posted and I put out to family members, I said, this is literally what is coming next. And that is not because I am special or anything. That's because of the information coming into this channel. So again, it says, upon information and belief, or its proxies are planning a sneak attack on U.S. troops and or assets in Riyadh. If this happens, Ryan will pay a very heavy price indeed. Now, what does this tell you? It tells you that yes, this is Soleimani related. And then all of a sudden at the task force, what was taken over today? Well, it was taken over and basically said, hey, we are going to send all of our Navy to the Caribbean. So, Dex, do you want to kind of sum that up in a minute? Kind of what happened at the task force meeting?
Wow, what a surprise, right? I heard T-Man was on. I go run into the TV. I turn it on. I'm ready to get my daily update. And wow, we're sending destroyers, we're sending Air Force equipment or planes, really. They didn't outline which one, but we're basically moving positioning into the Caribbean and into the Eastern Pacific, basically in a position to, as they tell us, fight I guess a war on drugs, if you want to call it that. It seems like the old days of Nancy Reagan, right? So we are apparently positioning ourselves to stop advancements and advantage that the cartel is apparently going to be taking on America. That's the message we were given, and I think that was pretty shocking. At least it was to me when I heard it. I'm like, what?
And how
is
do they
really
say that?
An issue right now?
And how do they say that it's the cartels? Obviously, they are trying to hint that Ryan is essentially hiring the cartel, or they have some sort of connection. The end result from this is they're going to take out the place that they've been trying to take out for a long time, or at least that's what people think, right?
Well, what's interesting is there's something that happened a couple of days ago in the country that begins with V, Venice, and I won't finish it. I don't remember if we can talk about that one or not on this platform, but that country, which we covered a long time ago through all the turmoil we were trying to
the blackouts. The
blackouts. We were trying to overthrow the government. Well, apparently a couple of days or maybe a week ago, we pushed in and said, hey, we have a plan. We want you to accept this plan to move to democracy. It was sort of a peace plan for the country. At that same time, Russia pulled out. They ran. They're like, hey, we're done. We're not doing this. We're out of here. And then the country, the B country, said, nope, we don't want anything to do with your plan. We're rejecting it. So now that rejection, I think, was 2 days ago. So in some parts, this is a potential setup for that, saying, hey, we're moving into this position now because we went in, we asked you to go to this democratic mode instead of your dictatorship. And also remember that country is a huge oil country, and oil is completely crushed right now. The price for a barrel of oil is like nothing. You can probably get a barrel of oil for $9 if you wanted to. I saw the gas at my gas station. It's like $1.30 or something like that. It's ridiculously low. So there's something going on there, or at least there is the optics to make it look like there's something legitimately going on there. But it certainly raises a lot of questions. A lot of people don't believe it. A lot of people wonder, is this part of another theory? Is there absolutely something that we have no clue that's going on, and this is just a setup to get us in position? I don't know. And it's certainly right for everyone to be questioning right now because it makes no sense.
So with everything that's going on, obviously things are going to change by the day, by the hour, and we're watching this. Why would they use the task force meeting to talk about this? Obviously, because their excuse was that it's tied in, that they were going to take advantage of this. Remember, just a week ago, I covered that DHS put out that alert and said that essentially this was the reason why they're on high alert, so to speak. This country, of course, being the one that everybody is talking about, which people wonder why we don't say these things on all platforms. Even that word can basically take people out. I don't think people realize how bad it has actually gotten for anyone who doesn't do photography reviews or anything else. Again, it's not about demonetization. It's about reaching new people or reaching zero people all of a sudden. So we'll talk about that, and I'm very glad that we have our multiple families right now all together as one. So let me see if I can pop up. This is awesome. I've got everybody in one place. Machiavelli, Little Red Pill, what is going on? Vahid777, very, very awesome. I think we should almost have the viewer count again. Let's see if it works. I haven't had that in a while. Let's try it. 4,400 people. That is amazing. Thank you guys for all coming out. This is absolutely crazy right now. How many do we have over on D? Let's see here. Bam. Okay, Granny Yardy, thank you so much for your support. Rabid Badger, We've got Not Again 4. Occam's Razor says hi. Well, what's up, Occam's? Why aren't you here? Carol Palmer, 512, thank you so much for your generous support. I appreciate you, and I'm glad to see you every night. Kelly2334, thank you. All of you guys, the Savior. Let's see, Not Again 4, again, thank you. Jojo Walker. Trigger, thanks for being here. Paw Patrol, thanks for being here. And Amy, a.k.a. Mini70, thank you so much for gifting subscriptions. KC1, thank you for being here. All of you guys, thank you for being here. Mini70, thank you for your crazy, crazy support. I appreciate it. It is getting absolutely nuts every single day. And I wonder when something is going to happen to knock out all of these lines of communication. And I'm not saying that's going to happen, but look at what's going on right now. So look at this. Now, they first thought this was something else. It turns out that the guy was trying to commit an act of T. It says, train operator at Port of Los Angeles charged with derailing locomotive near U.S. Navy hospital ship Mercy. What they first thought, didn't they first, like the very first 10 minutes, they thought it was an accident. Then they thought this guy...
Yeah, I think it was for a whole day, Adam. I think they reported it as a derailment. And then they came back later and said, oh, we just heard from the feds that there's something more to this.
Not only was there more to this guy basically tried to play a Back to the Future going 90, 100, 110, however the fastest it was, with the intention that it would derail, go through the parking lot, and hit the hospital ship. So that is incredibly nuts, even if this is not what... Again, you guys can be your own deciders on all of this. I'm just letting you know this happened, and this is what they said. As far as the back to the DHS warning last week, you had the guy that was apparently taken out at the hospital, trying to take out a hospital. Then, of course, you've got this guy trying to derail a train on a curve, literally wanted to derail it, jump it, and then smash it into the ship. This is some crazy, crazy stuff. And first off, he failed. He failed miserably. He probably should have had, whoever put a couple pennies on the trail. That might have done the trick, but instead...
No, he was at the end of the line, actually. He ran it off the end of the line.
I wonder how fast he was going. Like, how fast does it take to... obviously, I wonder why there's not safety stuff. I just talked about this a year and a half ago when they were talking about the checkpoints that the trains were going to have in this system that they were going to have, where if you were going too fast around a place where they've judged you don't do it, it would take control. Remember we were talking about the AI taking over trains, and we were saying it would be a bad thing and a good thing all at once. A good thing for things like this, but a bad thing for other reasons if you've got these trains controlled by artificial intelligence. So it says... Edward Moreno, 44 of San Pedro, was charged today in a criminal complaint with one count of train wrecking as a result of an incident Tuesday afternoon. According to the criminal complaint filed in the United States District Court, Moreno admitted in 2 separate interviews with law enforcement authorities that he intentionally derailed and crashed the train near the Mercy. So one thing is, why would somebody admit like that? Are they saying, you're going to get life in prison or 7 years? It just seems weird. Or is he trying to get credit for a group? Is he trying to do this? Whatever. I don't know. So we don't have the full details on this. As it gets figured out, we'll at least report what they say it was. But again, we told you last week. I look at those warnings because I think those warnings are so they can look back and go, well, we told you so. It's kind of weird. And then you have T-Man announces enhanced narcotic operations amid the CV, deploys destroyers and Air Force assets. A lot was deployed. Again, they just called 1 million reservists up, and nobody knew why. They just put the military in Cheyenne Mountain and 2 other secret locations underground. Nobody knew why. This is why I think that, we need to absolutely not only keep our heads on the swivel, we need to not panic, but literally have our stuff prepared and understand that anything could happen. There are some people commenting that, oh, there's going to be an invasion or this or that. I don't think I don't think that is exactly going to happen, or there's nothing to say that yet, because there's more evidence to look like this is trying to get to their goal, right? The pandemic with an L added is more like it. So I don't think they would plan on that. So this is pretty nuts. And again, a lot of people up until like 10 minutes ago did not know about this. A lot of people have stopped watching these task force meetings because they don't want to hear it, because one, they've all been the same for the most part, besides adding things like, oh, now it's another 15 days. Pretty much a lot of people, and by the way, in the first week, their ratings were higher than any show ever. Everybody on the planet was watching T-Man. That's pretty nuts. They can look at how many people are watching, and they said it was just unbelievable. And then it started to trail off. Nobody wanted to hear the negative stuff. So people stopped watching. So people didn't know about this. This is obviously very strange. It says, flanked by Attorney General Bill Barr, Secretary of Defense Mark Esper, and top military officials at the White House CV briefing announced on Wednesday a massive new, quote, counter-narcotics operation in the Eastern Pacific Ocean, Caribbean Sea to, quote, combat the flow of illicit drugs into the United States. 4 hours after saying that Ryan was this and Ryan was that, and saying that they were going to stop this huge thing. I have a feeling that this is going to be conflict, and then it goes back to what we have said for a long time. No one wants a new president when there is a conflict going. So somehow we transitioned into this. Even though they weren't doing any exercises, they weren't doing any drills, they weren't doing anything. They said, nope, we're canceling that. Military is to stop doing everything. All of a sudden, they're like, nope, reverse. And he even said something at the meeting. He was like, everybody has this idea that we should all just be, putting the military and gathering dust. No, I never had that idea. But, that's what you guys told us you were doing. And then all of a sudden it was different. So very strange that is what went on. Disciples Heart, thank you for popping out and supporting. Says, please watch Horror's Abomination of Desolation. It's all been foretold. Recorded last October. Prophecy warns to be sober and vigilant. It will slow down, but another wave will hit. Cairo says, Marf, you should check out Lahawi 86 video tracing the V back to the lab with official CCP documentation. Would like to hear your thoughts. I think it very well could have been, but the origins are not mattering to me as much as where this is headed. Again, it could have been made in a meth house in Detroit. Where is it headed? Do you guys see what I'm saying? Yes, it would put it in that country and it would say, oh, that they're responsible, but that's not necessarily true. Somebody from a different country could have been planted there. There's no way to tell what is really going on right now. Well, what we are focused on here is trying to figure out what is coming next. And we don't try to make predictions with dates, but we do give you theories. And then, again, this is one of the theories was that NK, Ryan, China were going to supposedly be in some sort of cahoots to try to weaken, then take over, this and that. Soleimani had plans. He was knocked out. They tried taking out his right-hand man, but again, he was not taken out. So everybody asked back then, after T-Man said he had these huge, WMD plans, all this stuff, do they continue? Since the second right-hand man, the mission on him failed, does that mean it's still coming? So we're still figuring out everything again, and I believe that there's a false wall that keeps switching, and we have no idea. But we can guess what they're going to say they're doing. All I'm saying. So, and then Merry Christmas 2.0, thank you, says repent and be baptized in Jesus' name. Acts 2:37-38. This is the only way to heaven. Then there are people that believe this is genuinely the end of the world. Sandy Stamps, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for your support. Your name will be on the next show. Sean Payne, thank you so much. Charlene Ward, thank you guys for all stepping out and helping. Lola Cafe, thank you again for your support. Let's see here. Sammy Gotti, Susan Donahue, thank you for supporting us through the entire year. You guys, honestly, Susan, I appreciate your support, but I've also appreciated that you've been here every show. Viticus Rising, thank you so much. So, and then Susan says, Adam Dex, and many thanks and much love. We can get through this together. That's a really great point, Susan. And you've watched me long enough. A lot of people have watched. We're trying to be positive. We're also trying to organize, because right now they don't want that. So, make sure to get into our Discord. Somebody in chat can tell you how. Herd Bowl, thank you so much. Says, Jesus loves you. Well, thank you, Herd Bowl. I've never met you before. I haven't seen your name, so welcome. El Snapatan, thank you for following. Fringe Files, thank you. Says, hey, Marf, I don't know much about all the space activity, but 3 times this week we've had bright meteors flash over my area. Has anyone else noticed? That's another thing. Talking about how Nigeria had that thing hit and they covered it up and said it was a truck full of stuff. Or at least, I'm sorry, they supposedly said that there was a truck there, whatever. It was supposedly a cover-up. If you see the video of the official talking, it just looks like somebody like handed him a slip and he didn't even know what he was saying. Experts say they looked at the footage, they looked at the top down, they looked at satellite images. The thing was a freaking meteor, in my opinion. And it was a massive one. The neighborhood a mile throughout, everything busted, roofs torn off in some cases, cement buildings crumbled. That was a big blast. So it begs the question, it begs the question to say, is there something else happening in space? We had the Space Force come in. We had the Hayabusa, the OSIRIS-REx, Russia's mission to put nukes on missions to space. We had the Hammer, hypervelocity and asteroid mitigation emergency response vehicles, essentially a nuke on a rocket. Those all came into play. They've been doing the nighttime training. They've been doing all these weird things like something massive is going to happen. Now, just yesterday, T-Man said this is going to be the worst 2 weeks ever. I don't know why you would add that to, he's always positive, always saying, oh, we'll get through this. Now he's saying this is going to be the worst 2 weeks. It's almost like a signal. Vernon Turner, thank you. Lexi May, thank you for following. Raven, 41780, thank you for following. Exandra Rising, Olish Hunter, thank you for your time and dedication. Adam, Dex, and mods, thank you. Thank you for including Dex, too, and the mods. Jack Huron, M.I., Nina Rivers, Angela Bradley, Karath, Daughter of the King, Shelley Jernigan. Thank you guys for all joining. Veticus Rising again. Good reporting, Adam. Also very oddly timed trailer of a comet striking Earth released on March 31st. Same day as meteorite hitting Nigeria. There are no coincidences. Yeah, I agree. B. Pike, welcome. Tribulation Force, Judy Pinnell, Ludi Pulliam, Bofius, I Am Lagus, Ladon Garland, and El Chayo. Thank you for subscribing on YouTube. All right, so to get in this, let's see here. What do you guys think about it? I would love for you guys to call. Again, this is a live call-in show. It is the number is 2244-00-MARF. It will actually be scrolling down here, right there. And then, of course, 6273 is MARF if you don't have a touchtone phone with the letters on it. Now it says, T-Man sees possible Ryanian sneak attack on U.S. in Ryak, warns will retaliate. U.S. President DT on Wednesday warned that it and its proxies against attacking U.S. troops or assets in Ryak, citing a possible, quote, sneak attack, but giving no other details. Upon information and belief that Ryan or its proxies are planning a sneak attack on U.S. troops and assets in Ryak. If this happens, Ryan will pay a very heavy price indeed. Of course, that's what he said on Twitter. We've talked about this for a while now too. They have had chatter in some of the online, I guess, kind of black market sites on the dark internet, talking about this specifically, about how they've been talking about this country for a while now, and of course since Soleimani, that there was something even bigger planned before that. So we'll see how that plays out. I would say every single day you need to look at your neighbors, you need to look at the people around you, you need to look at what's going on, because you don't want to be a part of the next Fantastic Freddy. Pentagon seeking 100,000 bee bags for civilians in virus crisis. The Pentagon is seeking to provide as many as 100,000 military-style bee bags for potential civilian use as the U.S. warns that deaths could soar in the coming weeks from the CV pandemic. Now, some are now actually believing this. Again, there are a section of people that believe that, yes, indeed, that this is real, and it was actually some sort of bioweapon. Is it? That's up to you guys to discuss and decide for yourself. It would make sense with all this going on. Who is the person who really started it, though? That's the bigger question. And it says that FEMA has requested 100,000 bee bags known as human remains pouches. Horrible name. Through an interagency group that has directed it to the Defense Department. The Pentagon is looking into buying more bags and will draw some initially from a stockpile of 50,000 it maintains, according to two people familiar with the request. Now remember, we had, before this even started, Bones said that all of a sudden the plastic containers that were there all disappeared. And not only that, they, instead of loading it on trucks in the public, they were loading them inside trucks. So obviously trying to kind of hide that they're being moved out in masses. Is that true? I'll leave that up for you to decide. Rikers Island prisoners being offered PPE and $6 an hour to dig a mass site. Wow. Can I just say it again? Wow. New York City is offering prisoners at Rikers Island Jail $6 per hour, a fortune by prison labor standards. I think normal is like $1.70, something like that, crazy. And personal protective equipment if they agree to help dig mass holes on Hart Island, according to sources with knowledge of the offer. Avery Cohen, a spokesman for the office of Mayor Bill de Blasio, Mr. Get out and live your life. Go on the train. Shoot, hug as many people as possible. Free hug signs are free right at my government doorstep. 2 weeks later says, get inside, wear a mask. But said that it was not COVID specific, noting that prisoners have been digging holes on Hart's Islands for years. So they say that it's already happened. It's been there for a while. Uh-huh.
I bet they weren't wearing PPE before, though.
Yeah, they weren't wearing that. Somebody in the chat said, fear. This isn't fear. I hope nobody is afraid. And actually, it's because we have so many new people, they don't know what this show is, that people say that. That's not what we're... In fact, everybody that's watched this show for a long time, we've seen this coming from a million miles away. And people said, oh, that's never going to happen. That's never going to happen. And then, of course, it happens. And we're not surprised. Nobody who's been watching this show for the last year. And I've actually showed you in previous shows, you don't even have to watch my shows to see what we told you. When we do a 2-hour show, we always pick out the most weird and suspicious and sticked out story, and we put that in the thumbnail and in the title. You can go back 9 months ago, see Kentucky buys 40,000 gas masks. You can see DARPA needs an agency in 2 days. Why? And then you can see DARPA makes evolving suit for a mutating virus. You can see Russia making a space Noah's Ark. You can see Sweden putting their military underground. You can see eminent domain used for night vision goggles. All of these things are just, you don't even have to watch the frickin' show. Because all of those things I felt were a part of the bigger picture. That's because I get 100,000 emails every frickin' day. The ones from the military group or the Discord messages from the military group, those are the ones I kind of hold a little bit higher. And then I match them up with everything, including all of the normal messages. Since I've had Dex, it's been a lot easier for us to put all this information together. Then we have our mods like J-Stone, West Virginia Prepared Mind, Bones, CJ Blaze, all of these folks that put in all of their knowledge as well. And then you have what is going on. Which, again, it's been a minute. It says the offer is only being made to those with convictions, not those jailed before trial, as in generally the case. The memo sent to prisoners, according to a source who reviewed it, does not specify what the work on Hart Island will be, but the reference to PPE leaves little doubt. Yeah, that's pretty craziness. And then if you guys want to support in a different way and protect yourself, so this is where this comes in. So all of the stuff that we've shown you over the last years, if you're new to this show and if you've never seen it, EMP Shield is somebody we've worked with for over a year now. They work with the DOD, DHS, and now they're officially on the DEMSO team protecting the Texas grid. EMP Shield is a device that grounds the signal before it fries your devices, and this is essentially the one name mentioned in the Department of Homeland Security's EMP Resilience report. That same report that asked every American to have 6 months to a year of food. With everything going on, with them putting military in the mountains, with them doing night training for the last year, it's not that bad of an idea. And like I've said, if you go through ours, it will actually help this channel out. Either way, go around us, go to a different creator, use the website without putting our code in. If you have a house, a generator, any of these devices really, I would say that you should be actually preparing for this. And again, they have devices for their generator. They have devices for your solar system, devices for your ham radio, devices for your car. If you can't get to your bug out, then what point is it? So again, that's EMPshield.com if you want to go without. It's marfugelnews.com/EMP if you want to go through with. All right, and then let's see here. European experts ready smartphone technology to help halt CV spread. Platform aims to trace those at risk before or across borders. It says Asian mobile tracing helped, but would violate EU rules. Tech platform expected to be released on April 7th. And it says in Berlin, a group of European experts said on Wednesday that they would soon launch technology for smartphones to help trace people who had come in contact with those infected with CV, helping the health authorities act swiftly and halt its spread. Do you guys realize what this is? I will save that for D-Live only show. The ability, again, and you guys can have your opinions, that's just fine. The initiative involves gathering data via smartphones to show a person with the virus had come in close contact with, so that those people at risk could be then contacted. It says the ability to track down those at risk of infection more accurately could help avoid having to, quote, lock down entire societies, with the resulting hugely damaging economic impact. But yet everywhere has already done it. I mean, we've already done damage that our great-great-grandkids are going to be paying for. So I don't see... What is your cue on this, since you are you're a resident techie? You've worked high up in tech companies. What do you think they are doing with this?
Oh, this is exactly heading down the path that I know everybody in chat is probably saying right now. I know I tweeted about it, and we'll save it for a D-Live show. But yeah, definitely, this is not a good type of technology. This is definitely getting into that realm of, we've talked about RFIDs and implants and things like that. This is a definite invasion. It's a definite. It's not good. This scares me to think that they're going to use this type of event to yet again take away our rights, but more so in put more power and more control in the government or in the people that are in charge and doing those power grabs. And that's what really bothers me here.
And it looks like there's a lot of people in all the different chats talking exactly the same thing. Somebody said it's time to throw away the phone. Somebody says the Patriot Act is coming again. Marf Vader says, why am I being asked to resub? I don't know. There's been a lot of weird stuff like that, but that's okay. Remember the chip that some people got, Glenda T says. Chance Paladin, I love Beagle's sunglasses. That's awesome. And then Phil Whittlefield says it's a beast system. Oh, I like Goulish's suggestion, though. Call your senators. Absolutely. I agree. No phone, no GPS, says Matrix. There's been a lot of craziness with the phones, and I think people are starting to finally realize that. Reading the Gospel, thank you for the support. Says thanks at Adam and Dex and Mods. You've got Andrea22 and PHX Breeze. Live what you do. Thank you. Repent, Jesus is coming. Judgment is here. Man, a lot of that is coming out now. And a lot of people agree. Gone Girl 777, thank you. Acorn 5150, Daniel 7777. COVID-19 is the NWO's wet dream. I actually agree with that. Amy Mini 70 says this is a crazy combo of the sum of all fears, Contagion and Deep Impact. Is it not? And Yellowstone. Yellowstone with the 6.5 hitting Idaho yesterday and the dozens of aftershocks afterwards. You're talking about a place that just doesn't have earthquakes like that. The last one was 1983. Like, that's almost 30 years ago. So very, very odd things happening indeed. Back to good. Ricks are upper. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's not going to get any less crazy. Sandy Stamps, thank you so much for your support. You can always write a message there. Road to Prison. Haven't seen you in a minute, man. If you guys haven't checked out Road to Prison, he has gone through some crazy stuff. Last time I saw your stream, you were cutting off your tracking. Amos Fleetwood, thank you so much. I appreciate that. You can always write a message there. Keith Starr, thank you from Canada. Merry Christmas 2.0, repent and be baptized. And then Linda G, thank you so much for your support. Says thanks for the great work. Jennifer Anderson, thank you for following. News New Mexico, thank you for your support. Sandy Stamps and Sean Payne, thank you guys again. Charmine Luke, I have not seen you before, so thank you. My sister and myself stand right with you. We believe there is more to it than what they are saying, and now we are really scared. Plus, keep safe. Sometimes I'm on other channels, and I have a hard time. If you have a certain amount of letters, I always have to rewrite it 50 times. Yeah, there is a lot more to this. And you will all see very soon what, and that's the thing. They're even telling us this. And like I said, exclusive. This is kind of like, no schneid, Sherlock. You can go through my titles and everything that we have gotten from our military group. They knew this was coming. They drilled for it. They did everything. Despite President T's repeated assertions that CV epidemic was unforeseen and came out of nowhere, the Pentagon was well aware of not just the threat of a novel influenza, but even anticipated the consequent scarcity of ventilators, face masks, and hospital beds. It says the most likely and significant threat is a novel respiratory disease, particularly a new influenza. It says the military plan states, this is again, and look at that. Look at how it says C1D9. That's almost like... but anyways, it says, enemy threat, the most likely and significant threat. Look at that. Boom. And it says the plan represents an update to an earlier DoD pandemic influenza response plan, noting that it, quote, incorporates insights from several recent outbreaks, including 2012 MERS. So they kind of knew, and they were drilling for it. It says, titled U.S. Northcom Branch Plan, the Pandemic Influenza and Infectious Disease Response. The draft plan is marked for official use only and dated January 6th, 2017. The plan was provided to the nation by a Pentagon official who requested anonymity to avoid professional reprisal. So an actual Pentagon employee said, hey, take this. We knew. And very soon, I believe I don't see, if they would take me down over something like that, it's like, hello, everybody's going to know this. It's going to come out shortly. Everybody's going to know about everything they've worked on. They were working on V-scenes for all different kinds of these things that were locked away because they didn't know which one was going to get unlocked, or at least the people that, are not in the know, right? They're told to do this, but they don't know. It's very confusing. Again, we'll save that for uncensored and we rip it absurd. Then you have U.S. emergency medical stockpile nearly out of PPE gear as demand rises. At least this is what they're saying. An emergency stockpile of medical equipment maintained by the U.S. government has nearly run out of protective gear, according to two officials with the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, with DHS. It says a near-exhausted supply includes masks, respirators, gloves, gowns, and face shields, the officials said. A small amount of gear has been set aside for federal first responders, according to one of the officials, both of whom requested anonymity to discuss the matter. What is the common denominator here? That everybody is requesting anonymity, because nobody wants to be the guy who busts on this. We are probably going to get a really big whistleblower in the next week. That's my thought. Just saying. The U.S. National Stockpile aims to provide medical supplies during emergencies so severe they cause shortages. But states across the country have called on the federal government in recent weeks to send them large quantities of gear to help hospitals deal with the surging cases of COVID-19. Man, oh man. And then we have China finds new CV strain that lasts for 49 days in infected patient. Chinese researchers have warned of a new mutated version of CV that can infect people for nearly 2 months. Dex, does this ring a bell to you at all? This was one of our callers.
Oh yeah, we've heard this before. This not if you've been listening to this channel, this shouldn't be new news to you.
Anybody in chat that was there when we talked about this exact scenario, the second wave, everything that it's remember Aussie's Walkabout called in. His wife is an infectious disease nurse. Said that they've actually been looking at this for a while and it's gone around the earth many times and it's mutated. And then we said the vaccine was ready 10 weeks ago, but yet they don't want to release it just to have it fail on the next wave. They don't want to be the hero and then 2 days later say they horribly failed and put out the wrong one because now it's changed. That is why they're shutting down planets. Part of it. So there's a lot of stuff going at once. And I don't think, I think there's a lot of stuff that goes with this. But again, we've been lied to so much we don't know what the heck is real. Chinese military researchers found a middle-aged man who had the disease for 49 days. Yes, for 49 days. which is significantly longer than any other duration of illness. He needed to be treated with a plasma transfusion from other CV sufferers who had recovered, it's claimed. Absolutely nuts. This stuff, you can't make this up. Oh my gosh. Let's see here. Dex, can you please explain Nord while I switch over? We're going to be getting the phones open for all platforms. The phones are probably going to go nuts. Take it away. Or not.
Hey, Adam, I'm here. Sorry about that. Am I talking about Nord?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. So, we've mentioned this numerous times before. NordVPN is actually a critical tool, not only for the security on your computer, but if we think about what's been going on with the internet and potentially what may or may not happen to the internet in the near future, having a VPN gives you an extra layer of access. And we saw this with people like Megan's blog when they were blocked in China and they were trying to get information out. They were able to do that. And that doesn't mean that because you need to go to China to use a VPN, that may happen anywhere. It may happen at any time. So having a VPN not only will secure your connection and prevent these bad guys, there are a lot of them trying to take advantage of us right now. It'll help with that, but it also can give you an opportunity to get beyond a firewall if one is put up or if they try to start censoring. So having a VPN now, get it into your tool chest of tools that you have is a really important thing, in my opinion. If you don't get NordVPN, get any VPN. But if you get NordVPN, you'll get a really great price. It'll help support the channel. It's so easy to use. You just turn it on and off like a light switch. It works on up to 6 devices, and it's at marfugelnews.com/VPN. Again, use the code Marfugel. You'll get special prices for the Fugel fam, and you'll help the channel. Again, that's marfugelnews.com/VPN.
Thank you, Dex. And then with any of this, with NordVPN or any other one, you guys know, you saw that how Megan got out of countries. The internet is possibly going to have all sorts of things. I also wonder, though, too, with this, with everything that's going on, they're going to take advantage of a lot of people. They're going to be sending out alerts. People are not going to be thinking straight. They're going to click on the wrong link, and then all of a sudden, your credit score that you just worked for your entire life is now 0 because somebody just opened up 50 lines of credit using the information off of your computer. So again, marfugelnews.com/VPN. Okay, so I want to get into Go Hawks. Thank you. Says focus on the Jesus. Thank you. All you guys do. Go Hawks again. Thank you for supporting. Thank everybody that has come out on both sides right now. How many people do we have over there? I know we have 5,400 on YouTube. What is it looking like on the other platform? It's pretty nuts. Mini 70 again. This is Crazy Combo. Turi, thank you. And then Mini 70, thank you for gifting subscriptions. Absolutely nuts. Informed Woman says, I love your show. Good wins. And then we have Obey 777. Thank you. I appreciate that. Gordon 707. Al Crazy. Rixer Upper. Johnny Rax. Don't hate the Nate. Just a cat mom. Geisy. And number 2 Pencil. Thank you guys. Let's see what people are saying. Stormy 7572. West Virginia Prepared Mind says, support a mod, give a sub. You guys should all be subbing to all of the mods. They are actually rotating their links, so make sure to go love Mom. Karma is here, Awake 2, King Cuts, Job Mom, Retriever Mom, Dan P, Zerk Sister, and Turi. Thank you guys for all coming. There is nothing like the truth of matters, says Turi. Boston Bruins, thumbs up. Juanita says, I love you. Hot Wired Barb says, I'm here too. It's crazy how fast this is going because it's got both of them. What about the vacant China city? Ooh, good question. The empty ghost cities. That's pretty nuts. We're going to talk about that. And I think we're going to actually bust open some stuff that's going to be like, wow, what in the world is going on now? CV is now apparently the third leading cause of perished in the U.S. It only took a month for CV to become the third leading cause of perish in the United States, according to a San Diego doctor and data from the U.S. Centers of Disease Control and Prevention. It says CV is now killing 748 people per day in the U.S. And actually, I think that's changed, Dex. Has it not? It's gone up like to 1,000 or something because they just did it yesterday or something.
Yeah, you talking about the total number? I'm sorry, I was on the phone.
Yes.
I think it was 1,050 yesterday.
So now it's 1,050. That was
in just one day.
What state was that in? Was that in New York?
Well, I think a lot of it is going to be New York, but that would be spread out. I mean, that's all over. But it's definitely concentrated in the hotspots. But the thing about that number that's really scary to me is when you just take the average in America without CV happening, it's like 7,700 a day, right? So if all of a sudden you add an extra 1,000 on top of that, that's a big difference. Like to go from 7 to 8 is a big number. And by the way, that's just the beginning. They're expecting this to go up, to anywhere from 100 to 200K total in the next 2 weeks. So that means there's going to be some significant numbers on some days, and those numbers are so big that it's going to be hard to deal with. Like you can, if we as a country across 50 states deal with 7,700 a day on a normal day, and all of a sudden you have, 10,000, 20,000 in a day, and they're probably concentrated in a couple of major key hotspots, that's a huge uptick in those locations versus being spread across 50 states. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and another thing that I think of it is, how they're digging these mass holes, right? But so do those people? This is why I'm like, okay, so it's an advanced form of the flu, but with other countries, it feels like there's something's not right here, because why wouldn't if I pass away of this, wouldn't my family get to bury me in my family plot? Like, so you can't be buried, or you can't be buried in a normal place?
Yeah, I don't know that we've solved that problem yet, because I don't know that we've reached the critical mass. Like right now, you're dealing with, an extra 10% in a major city. And to think that they have 10% more work at the local
think about
GR
this, though.
is not that bad, but it will be an issue soon.
No, I get that, but
happens,
I don't think you're getting what I'm saying. Why does the lifeless body, why does that have? Can you get it from somebody who has passed on? And not on top of that, look at the way they're saying it transfers, right? If somebody coughs, if somebody does this, it does somebody that. Are they saying like the skin cells or something would float up and get people sick? Like, why do they have to separate these people? If Jennifer Billingsley dies in Oklahoma, she's 70 years old and she dies of this, they have to put her in one of these mass things instead of why can't they just wait 9 days?
So hang on, Adam. I don't know that we saw that headline, and that headline said, use the term mass. We haven't actually seen masses in the sense that there's a huge
in every other country, though they have.
And you put 50 or 100, people in them, as opposed to you dig 50 or 100 sites
But what I'm saying is everybody usually
right?
has a plan for death. For this, it's not. You don't get your plan for death. You don't get to go to your funeral. You don't get to go to the property where you've a lot of people buy their plots before they pass on. They buy the spot. That doesn't happen. You go with the rest of the people, right? Other countries are essentially putting them all together or burning them. China burnt them.
That's happened we've heard that's happened in China. I don't know that that's happened here.
It happened in Italy too.
At that point, and we'll have to see how we deal with that. But like, if it happened today, people are probably going to, if they have a plot, they would go to that plot, and if they don't, then the family has to figure it out. I think the one restriction we're seeing today is you can't have a big service. It has to be a very small service, and you got to be socially distanced.
It's crazy. Craig Mumbo says, here in Australia, they're closing down our gun stores but hairdressers get to stay open. And the government is still claiming masks are ineffective. That's what he said about Australia. And then it says Jim Watkins supported. Thank you. C. Hep, thank you for following. AZ, that AZ guy, thank you for supporting. DN Bender. EO2 Dave says you can get buried, but the funeral you have to practice social distancing. See, I don't know if that's true in all states. I don't know. Social distancing, I get that. And no, I thought a lot of people are not doing funerals. Here, we're not doing funerals. The state trooper that got knocked off by that shoplifter who wouldn't have even been booked into jail, that guy was denied a funeral, or at least he was for the time being. Beverly Walker, thank you, says, formypeople.org. These dreams tell what is going to happen. Beverly Walker, I've never heard of that. formypeople.org. I'll have to check that out. Is it a dream website, I'm assuming? J.A. Dudley, thank you for following. Kenneth Bennett, figuring out how to do this. Love the fam and good info. Got awesome UFO videos. Knock, knock, how to send it. Kenneth Bennett, you should go to our website and go to contact at the very top. And you will be able to send us video or call in, and you can actually give the video to him while you are on hold. Welcome back to the tube. Head on a swivel, y'all. Well, let's see how... hopefully we won't name this back to band or road to band. Sandy Stamps, thank you again for your support. Kevin Gonzalez, you are contagious with CV after passing on. True News reported it. See, what is this thing? Sounds like a something that was made for maximum damage. Just saying. Okay, and then by the way, hopping over, Ollie Pop, thank you. Sammy Lee, thank you so much. And Gone Girl, thank you so much for your generous support. And says, much love, all. Dom808, good luck with the upcoming phone calls, prayers. I'm guessing you have to go. I appreciate you coming, Dom808. Mahalo. And mentioning the Valley is still in place. Big chess game going. I've seen that a lot on Twitter, especially people saying that this is big chess moves happening right now. I absolutely think you're right as far as this is a chess game, and we are the pawns. Stefan Diaz, Adam Dex, and all mods, please stay safe. Not buying it, thank you for being here. Carol Palmer, 512, thank you for your generous support. Thank you for gifting subscriptions. And Minnesota Man 44, thank you, all of you guys. Yeah, Gone Girl and Go Hawks, thank you guys for massively supporting tonight. And Mini 70, of course, thank you for being my top supporter. Okay, let's see here. All right, so we're going to get the phones open. I actually do have, want to remind you guys, get over to Twitter. This is where I can talk essentially uncensored. Again, I have been knocked off a couple things, and over on Twitter, I'll tell you what they are knocking me off for, and then most likely that thing will get knocked off. So make sure to get over there. I can at least say what I think, because if something gets deleted or something that totally doesn't look like it should, then you know that you're kind of on to something there. So make sure to join me at Marfugel. All you have to do is search at Marfugel, or just type in Marfugel. I'm pretty much the only Marfugel, since Marfugel is this. All right, so we're going to get the phones open. We have a full lineup. You guys are calling like crazy. All right. Up first, we have Wolf. Wolf, you are live on Marfugel News. Go.
Hey, Adam, what's up? great that you're back on all platforms. Congratulations.
Well, thank you, Wolf. Don't ruin it for me. No. So let's see.
Oh no, Dex gave me the pointers of the careful, avoid the hot words. You guys set the example pretty good, so I think it'll be fine.
Okay, so Wolf, it says you wanted to talk about the CV and the economy and what it's doing to it. So what's going on with that?
Yeah, thanks for getting me on the show and taking my call. Long-time listener, first-time caller. I respect what you guys do a lot for the community. I'm kind of in the area here, too, in the South Puget Sound, so I definitely know, what you've been reporting on since the beginning, how there's been a lot of fear and everything and panic response, but I'm already kind of seeing people start to plan for maybe kind of coming together more of a community and do what you guys do and work with the veterans and people that have skills, like just basic hunting, gardening, and kind of that community garden kind of thing, that kind of mentality. And I'm really impressed that people are not despairing as much as would have them kind of go down that rabbit hole of not knowing what to expect and we're being reassured with the stimulus and things like that, but with how they shut down all the restaurants and the social distancing is a way to flatten the curve. That's great, but I definitely am excuse me, really grateful for what you guys do in kind of creating that channel with the Discord or just the show, kind of how you have a call-in radio set up. It's great that people can kind of hear other people struggling with the situation, but finding that light at the end of the tunnel with the community. So I definitely wanted to give a shout out to you guys for that, and I really appreciate you taking my call right now.
Absolutely, and since you are local, have you been affected by our local restrictions yet? Have you seen it? Have you? And also, I guess question number 2 is: did you feel that earthquake yesterday?
I did not, and I'm glad you reminded me. You brought that up because that kind of plays into the kind of biblical prophecy proportions of a lot of this stuff. It's kind of all lining up to where, it's better to have it not need it than need it not have it in all these kind of scenarios. And whether that's a surplus of basic dry grain type rice food that'll last, or even just kind of, like I said, a community of keeping that tight-knit trust community of people kind of checking on each other and, making sure that your folks are okay. Just simple things that people are kind of forgetting as they get caught up in the panic of the whole thing. So I definitely, like I said, I appreciate you guys kind of bringing that focus back to people just, hugging their loved ones a little bit tighter through this whole thing. It's pretty scary, but no matter what, I think we can definitely get through it if we all just stick together.
Well, and I think most of the scenarios, one thing that's positive, even if it was worst case scenario and we were all to perish, right? Think about most of the scenarios that happen, it would be very quick. I'm just saying, half of the scenarios out there, it would be very quick. I'm saying that kind of serious too. Like, think about it. Some of the ways, people talking about invasion and things like that, that would be kind of my worst nightmare because you don't know well, especially if you're somebody with a family, wife and kids. I've seen lots of real documentation of other invasions, like, WW2, when they invaded, they did horrible things, and all the way back, from the beginning of history. So I just, if that was ever to happen, I'm not saying that's going to happen, but again, people don't like to think about it, don't think it's possible. It's very possible for anything to happen. I mean, that's why we have militaries, is because of things like this. So it's just a scary thought. People are so separated from the last conflict that, people don't realize that war can come home. It can come to us. So I'm just, just want to put that out there.
No, for sure. I suppose a meteor would be better than, say, a Red Dawn kind of scenario is what you're saying.
Exactly.
If that's what we're looking at, for sure.
Exactly. Just instant, or Yellowstone would probably, actually, that would be, depending on where you are, would be bad or good. Now, Washingtonian, by the way, too, be careful for Cascadia subduction zone. That 6.5 is on the same plate as one of the ones that is involved with the Cascadia subduction zone. make sure to be careful. Make sure to have your things ready. Is there one more thing you want to say before you go?
I've been loving the show this whole time. I think a year and a half or two since the beginning, and just like how you guys have just grown and really created that Frugal Fam. And I guess when my channel grows a little bit and I sign up for the proper Discord, I can get the Love Mob, and that's in the near future next to my call, I guess.
And now, do you have a channel yet first, or do you have a channel up yet now?
High Strangeness, but it's one of those things as I'm learning all the ins and outs, which you actually gave me some awesome pointers over Twitter about a year ago, and a lot of that's helped a lot. So I look forward to doing more, but I wasn't really sure what kind of channel was
the most helpful,
but I definitely want to do something like what you do.
Did I DM you a bunch of messages? Like tips?
Yes.
I remember that. Were you surprised to hear me respond? I'll have to find your channel. Well,
yes and no. Sorry there, you're cutting out a bit. I was surprised at the amount of help, but at the same time, you are a very helpful, community-oriented, family-minded man. So it was very gracious, and I was very impressed. So I guess I would say that.
Now, what is your hold on. What is your icon, by the way?
It's just my face. I haven't done any icon art or logo work yet. Do
you have 11 subscribers? Does that sound right?
It sounds about right. More than I think even. Wow, I guess it went up.
Are you wearing a hat with smoke in your mouth?
Correct.
Okay, cool. Well, everybody, you guys know what to do. Love Mob from all platforms. You know that we've had people hit 1,000 in one show. So I don't expect you guys all to do that, but if you guys want to change somebody's path on YouTube, you can do it in a single night. So I'll be popping over to High Strangeness's chat or to his comments, and I will be seeing who's there. So if you want to say hi to me, I will read every one of his first video's comments. So springtime lake trail. I'll pick that video. So if you want to go say hi to me, I'll be over here saying what's up. All right, you guys. So thank you so much for calling in. High Strangeness, aka let's see here. Wolf. First time caller. All right, so we're going to go to the next one here. Let's see. We have Tanya, I believe. Tanya will be next. Tanya, you are live on Marfugal News.
Hi, Marv. How are you?
I am good. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I messaged earlier. I know you probably saw my message. We're having some CV stuff going on in Flint, Michigan right now.
Yeah, I heard that you guys are getting some emergency help as well because it's pretty bad. Is that right? Or
it is. Yeah, I believe so. I have a dear friend who is an RN in an ICU at a local hospital, and she went home positive for CV. She recovered, and then she went back the day before she was to report back to work, and she went back to be fitted for a new mask, and she got on a FaceTime, and she was in tears. And she said the hospital had 4 floors used for CV patients. She said the ICU looked like a war zone. And there was a lot of people suffering. So we have a new curfew tomorrow and that is a new thing. I believe they're going to stop the buses too.
Like
so
no public transportation.
Right,
so no public transportation. So if you don't,
I believe that's the rumor. I haven't heard that for certain, but the curfew is for certain.
So you're saying if you don't have a car, you are pretty much stuck. There's not going to be anybody to take you around.
Yep.
And then again, I think I wonder how this affects Uber and things like that. Can you still order an Uber in your town, or is that something that doesn't exist?
I have a car, so I don't know. I
Yeah.
do work in a recovery house. I was sent home about 12 days ago because I had a low-grade fever. I don't believe I have CV, but you don't know. But I'm supposed to go back work maybe Friday. But I just, I have clients. I have a building full of 200 clients that are all in one building that we service. And I've been in touch with my coworkers. It's just really, really scary. But the good news is I read that book, that Bible, and I know we win in the end, so it doesn't matter anyways. So I just got to take it a day at a time. And that's what I just remind myself, just one day at a time.
Well, and that's another thing too. So if anything happened, just know that I guess it's being secure with what happens when you pass away. Then it takes away the fear out of a lot of things. Honestly, it does.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to make sure to show your channel. I'm going to link to this. All of the callers, if they have a channel, a document, a video, it will always be linked on our website in that section I showed you in the very beginning of the show. So if you guys want to go over and show Tanya some love, she actually has a video, Do It Yourself Disinfectant with Thieves. If you guys see that video, that's the one that I'll end up popping into. So, well, thank you, Tanya, for calling. I appreciate you. And
well, I had one more quick thing, because I was actually doing an art channel, and then I switched it up like yesterday because we were on Facebook. I'm part of a group that does like natural health and chemical-free stuff because it's all not good for you. And there are no censoring words. So you can get your channel taken down by saying sanitizer, disinfectant. So now I'm bringing that stuff over to my YouTube.
wow, are you kidding? That's on Facebook?
On Facebook, they're censoring those words right now. Yes. And Nick had commented that maybe it's because people are trying to price gouge or something. But, I mean, I'm all about, keeping myself above the health, above the wellness line. So that way I'm not susceptible to
Maybe
yeah.
it's because of fake, people saying that this makes sanitizer and it's not actually the way to make it or something. I don't know. Maybe
No.
that's just crazy.
I think they're tagging those words because people are trying to they're hoarding it and trying to sell it.
Wow. That's pretty nuts that
But
they're doing that.
Right. It doesn't help people that are trying to figure out how to do things like on a budget and trying to keep their house and their family healthy with alternative to chemicals. I use chemicals still, but I try to limit them.
Well, so the natural world, like, what is his name? Mike from, oh my gosh, why am I not remembering his name? He started Brighteon. Before that, it was called something else.
Okay.
He got kicked off along with AJ. He got kicked off. He what is the dang article? Dex, can you chime in? Mike
Adams.
Mike Adams. Yes.
Yeah.
Along with him, I saw some of the hit back that he got for doing alternative medicines or for representing alternative medicines. And that's essentially big pharma coming after the little guy and saying, no, this doesn't work.
Absolutely.
This doesn't, I just think it's really crazy that so much animosity is given towards natural things. In fact, I believe Homegrown, he just had a video kind of marked because he even mentioned a guy that said that there was a natural kind of way to battle this thing that's going on right now.
Right.
But he wasn't saying like endorsing it.
Right.
He was essentially saying, this one guy claims this. So that's even enough. So yeah, there's a lot of animosity from these big companies towards these kind of things. So make sure that means you're probably over the target and you're probably doing the right thing here. So
absolutely. And I'm gonna be working on posting some more on YouTube. But I also wanted to say pray. Don't give up hope, people. This is how we win, by not giving up hope. And the end of the story is already wrote. So stay safe, be aware of what's going on, have faith over fear, one day at a time, because we're going to be okay through this, one way or another.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Tanya. You have a great night, and God bless. And thank you for calling. Make sure to go Love Mob. It looks like a lot of people have already jumped over, but it's not pulling up. It's not trying to. Let's see here. We've got our next caller coming up. Let's see here. Ooh, this is going to be a good one. Fringe Files, you are live on Marfoogle News.
Hey, Marfoogle.
Hey, what's going on? Fringe.
It's been a while.
Yes, it has. So, let me pull up your card here real quick so I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, go ahead.
So you've actually you've been talking about this as well. Now you want to talk about the presidential seal and the flag. What's going on with that? A lot of people have talked about this.
Yeah, well, and from what I know, at least from what people tell me, is like I was one of the first to really cover it. Maybe somebody else out there did, but I noticed. Do you remember the day that when we say FEMA? Can you say that?
Well, by the way, we noticed live, but I didn't talk about it for a few days. People in the chat were like, whoa, why is there no presidential seal? I think a lot of people that are in this niche, we all noticed it. You know what I mean?
I didn't notice it until the day that, a certain somebody was standing there at the podium. So I paid a little bit more attention that day, and then I was like, wait, what's going on? And then it blew up on my Twitter. So I'm like, okay, let me look further into this and see how long it's been going on for. And it seems like since March 13th, it had been missing. And at first I'm thinking, okay, it's because we have this task force, I was like, that makes sense. Everybody's coming together. It's a unity thing. But then I looked a little bit deeper, and any time that we've had multiple people talking, it's still there. I noticed the past couple times, it was two or three times that Trump came outside, or the president came outside to speak, and it was back. So that made me feel better. But then today it was gone again, and it's just gone every time that they're inside. People have also mentioned that maybe they're in a different room or a different setting.
Well, but
I don't know. Maybe some of your people
understand
that stuff better than I do.
They have the West Wing.
Some of my military people have let me know it's weird.
So I did a YouTube story, which is kind of like the Instagram version. I didn't think it was strange a couple weeks ago because they have done it for far less. They actually do have a studio that's set up exactly the same, only I think that they possibly don't have that same kind of podium. That might have been but they do have an underground studio that they do stuff out of, and it doesn't have to be the craziest threat for them to do stuff. But in the past, and this is what I've heard, is that we have not seen it consecutively. It was multiple times in a week. They were in the bunker.
Yeah, it was for a week or more straight. So I'm like, hold on, what's going on here? Because there's, like you said, there's been a few times, but then I talked to somebody really close, and they've let me know we're at a really critical time. Just keep your eyes open and really listen to what's going on, because
so that's why
things could change fast.
It brings me back, Fringe Files, to the fact that they are stating that there is this huge threat, and some people believe that there really is this huge threat, and that's why. I mean, think about what they told the commanders that are going into Cheyenne Mountain. They're not, they're not absolutely at the very top, but they said, hey, they must have said, hey, there's a serious threat to you guys. We need everybody to go into this. There's threats that we don't know about, and they keep us kind of on the bottom layer, and we have no idea until after it happens.
That's what I think is going on.
There
is something a lot larger at play here.
Well, do you think that they have us all in our houses to protect us?
Well, the way that I've explained it to other people, you remember back in the Cold War days where everyone knew to hide under their desk or to go into their root cellars? back then it was kind of instilled into us or trained into us as Americans that, okay, we know what's going on because people were more open with us back then. If you told people the same thing today, what do you think would happen? So maybe the smart choice is to say shelter in place at home, because if there's going to be critical damage here, you don't want people in hot spots hanging around.
And
right?
think about this: if there was going to be kind of a situation like another September, right? And they said they were going to look for a group of 500,000 people or something, like, you know, NASCAR or something like this. If everybody is at home, they can't really do something like that. So, and I'm not saying this is what's going on. I'm just saying that, you know, what if there was something like this? What if, you know, this was for the greater good to essentially tell us something else? Of course, I know that nobody is going to believe that route.
I'll just say you're not far off. From what I've heard, you're not far off.
So, but what I have heard from military is Soleimani had a part in this, and that's why I mentioned it, you know, a month and a half, 2 months ago, that this whole thing with Soleimani was at the root of some of this. And then the fact that the number 2 guy was not taken out. He survived, and they failed to do that mission. So we have, just from the facts of it, that T-Man sat there after they successfully got him. That same day, they found out, after they thought they did get him, that they didn't. So then afterwards, they're like, oh crap, we missed that second guy. We missed his second-hand man. At first, they thought he was indeed confirmed gone. Then they found out, no, he actually wasn't. So that means they kind of jumped the gun and said, oh, we knocked out 2 of these guys, when really the second-hand man could still carry out these plans, if that is indeed true, that they were planning this gigantic, you know, how T-Man put it. He said that they were planning a gigantic thing against us. So I don't know. It's pretty freaky.
And then and it's not just us. Like, this is a global event. It just feels like something, you know, more than what they're telling us. It feels a lot more serious than that.
I mean, they've closed down the entire world. The only place that is not thoroughly affected.
And everybody's military is making big moves. We're not just talking about, you know, crowd suppression. It's bigger equipment than that.
No, you're absolutely right. The only place that is not affected is Antarctica, and there's nobody there.
Pretty much, yeah. Isn't that a coincidence?
And it's just
that's probably the safest place to be right now.
You know, what's funny is they say they're shipping the Navy off to the Caribbean. I was on the phone with T-Mobile talking to customer service, which they still have, and I said, "Hey, just honest, I don't know if you're not supposed to say this, but I said, you know, where are you calling from?" She obviously wasn't, like, you know, English wasn't her first language, or it sounded like it. And she goes, "Well, I'm actually in the Caribbean." I said, "Does it affect you there?" She goes, "Yeah." And she told this very detailed story of the first person that came over. She's like, "Yes, it was a mother of 3 or whatever that visited us and this and that." And then they were on lockdown, right? It just seems weird that all these different places were told a very specific story. Remember when it started in the United States, we had the guy, you know, we knew kind of the basic story. The woman in Chicago with her husband, you know, when it first started, it started off as like, we know the one person. That one guy that was in the hospital that I went to, and in fact, I covered it. I went to that hospital, and even like a doctor that was working there didn't know he was there. But this woman on the phone in the Caribbean said, yeah, this one woman came with her family, and they were visiting for a thing and this and that. Think about that. In every country, in every city in the world, they've got kind of their first story of the first case. It's just weird to me that all of these places, now the military is heading towards the Caribbean.
I'm just realizing that. Holy cow.
Isn't that?
Wow.
It's just weird. So, Fringe Files.
It's so weird. Oh my God.
By the way, it's a coincidence tonight that all the callers were YouTubers, but that is because I have encouraged you guys to start channels for a long time. Fringe Files, you have one of the bigger ones. So we're going to make sure to connect your channel as well. Make sure to love Mom. We encourage all of us to have a voice and all of us to do these YouTube shows well we can. This is a way for us to get out our own, you know, our truths. So make sure to go over to Fringe Files. I'm going to make sure to show you her channel as well. Sometimes it just works out like that. Fringe, do you have one more thing you want to say before you go?
No, thank you so much. And I'm sorry to everybody for all being creators tonight. I've tried to call in a lot less because I want new people to be able to come in. Like, get your voice heard, guys. We all have an opinion. All of us think something weird is going on.
Well, and by the way, you are one of the most more successful, and I think you're, and with Snafu, Road to Prison, Homegrown USA. Homegrown USA is going on 14,000 subscribers. Make sure to go check him out. Fringe Files just surpassed 2,000 subscribers. So you can do it. Anyone can do this, and anyone can share their truth. So make sure to go do that. Secret Bailouts, opening Pandora's box. This is a very special episode. We can live again. So it's awesome to have you here, Fringe Files.
That is awesome. I'm so happy y'all guys can get on YouTube again.
For now. So we'll see.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
All right. Bye,
thank
guys.
you so
thank
much.
You, Mar.
All right. God bless. All right. Let's see here. So tonight was a special episode. We didn't know how this was going to go, so we did make sure to figure this out. I don't know if my wife is watching, but code 74C7. No, I'm just kidding. Now, Dex, I would love for you to just chime in again with kind of an overall.
Wow, Adam, great calls tonight, and again, congratulations. Glad we're back on multiple channels now, not just 2. We're on 3. This was great, and who knows where we'll go from here.
We're gonna do longer shows, by the way. Tonight we were doing an experiment, and then we do need to make this a slightly shorter show. Mrs. Marf is in here somewhere. But Dex, thank you for everything, and we'll be back tomorrow.
Yeah, man. Thank you, Adam. Great job.
Did you have
God bless
anything
everybody.
else you wanted to say in closing?
There's a lot of questions that are out there in the world, and a lot of people that are questioning the things that are going on. Just make sure that you don't allow your questions to let you get in harm's way. Sometimes it's okay to maybe not believe what's going on, but still take the safe route. It doesn't hurt to wash your hands.
No, I completely agree. And again, it's like, give it the benefit of the doubt either way, because it could be a designed thing that was something that they're now fighting back for. Whoever, we don't know. Crazy for Animals, thank you for gifting a subscription. Kelly2334, as usual, thank you so much. Took Pup. Thanks for giving us the truth. We've got Sammy Lee. Thank you for being so strong for us all. Thank you for being here. Thank you for lifting us up. Southern Truth Chick, Texas is locking down. Northeast Texas here. Mandatory 12 a.m. Man, oh man. Channel Jammer, we are Marfia strong. Channel Jammer, I'm so just appreciative to have you here for you've been here for a long time, so I really do appreciate it, everything. Luna Soul, thank you for the lemons. Stility, Stefan Diaz, Jessica, Head Like a Hole, thank you so much. Reading the Gospel, thank you for ice creams over there on D. Enchanted by You, Hopkinson, we've got Gone Girl. Let's see here. I'm not liking being a game piece, shaking my head. No, nobody likes being a pawn, especially when we might be playing into something bigger and not even knowing it. Stefan Diaz, thanks for all you do, bro. This one is for you. At Dex J, of course. Kevin Furman, don't hate the Nate. Ricks are upper. Bear 1G string. Dex, can you please, because I cannot see it, can you list the top 5 contributors on D Live?
Absolutely. So we have Carol. I can't see it either, but I've got it right here. Hang on. Yeah, Carol Palmer and Amy are aka Minnie. Awesome. Go Hawks, Gone Girl 777, Zippy Moons, Kelly 2334. Thank y'all so much. Boomer Live, Sammy Lee, Tower Bear, and Chris Starr. Thank you guys all so much for being over on D Live. I've been hanging out in chat over there with them, and the D Live family is strong right now.
Well, thank you guys. How many people did we get over on D Live?
We were at we hit about 3.5 thousand.
That's so crazy. And then 5,500 over here on YouTube. That's nuts.
Yeah.
People can, I guess, pick. Well, it goes like this. We don't know if we're gonna do some crazy stuff here, and we've got help from everybody. We're going to be doing something for the mods as well. We've got lots of stuff coming up, so make sure to tune in. Now it is officially time for the shoutro. It's not an outro. It's not a shout-out. It's a shoutro. It's where I say thank you to the people that matter most, you guys. This is a viewer-powered channel, and without you, we would be nothing. So I appreciate all of you. Much love. Be safe. Be prepared. And Marv out.
Marfugal News. Welcome to 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 Marfugal News.
Ooh. The chat's going so fast, I don't know if I'll be able to see the names. Herd Bull, thank you for your support. Barefoot Lass. Herd Bull and the Barefoot Lass, thank you, Indigenous Kiwi. Heather Guck, thank you for following and smoking in a G-sharp. Indigenous Kiwi, thanks for all of your super chats. Janamon Narani and Jana Mermania, thank you for being here at this over here on D-Live. That's what it's all about. Awakened by the Looking Glass Reflection, Jason Urib, and the Resurrection. Now we do a resurrection of Anit straight out of her tomb. Jay Roche and Doc Holiday, thanks for being here and thanks for saying hey. James Graves, thanks for being somebody with a cool last name like Graves. Annie Paulson and Kevin Gonzalez, EO2 Dave, and the rest of the wave. Of course, that's what we had said is China's coming with a different wave. Hey London, Carolyn Lowe and Shirley Abercrombie, thanks for coming out tonight. Alish Lexi with Dex and the Fight. O-Wise Al and JC Follows and Jennifer Collar and the rest of the Hollows. Saint Gang Gang and the Mr. Yana, Yushua and the Deborah M. Blob Jones and Dot to Dot, thanks for coming back once again. I just stubbed my toe and I came back again. Juanita and Miss Stinger going again. Jamie Lawless and Chance Paladin, thanks for hanging out and doing what you did. Hey somebody special and Phil Billy from YouTube and Play Hard, thanks for coming out and being this great and now something and something hate.
Welcome to Marfugal News. 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 Welcome to Marfugal News.
By the way, a shout out to Chris Starr. I made this beat on her show. Remember, you can go to marfugalnews.com for all of this information.
Now everyone hang on, a Grafton and Sean Saba. One more, April Osborne and God Sparrow. A Landon Ernst, Matthew Ainsworth. A Trudy W, a mutant fact, coming back with a ground platformer. I love you. I've got a head like a hoe. A Laura Griffith, see you later. Thanks for stopping by. Hey, Minionator, and Deuce and more Darth Vader. Hey, Mater, coming back with Mrs. Jada. Speaking of that J Stone, thanks for coming out. La 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 la. La 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 la. Mr. Senior and the JT Waters running with scissors still. La 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 la. And y'all warriors, girl is on top of the world. La 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 la. A Daniel Schultz and the rest of the maid, they all say it's so. A Joe Holder, a Steve Brady, and a mutant fat cat. La 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 la. Hey, it's never been harder, but we still hold it down. Kristen the barber, she's holding it down. La 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 la. Never do we go down the road without amazing drop. Never did the RZA go so high, they don't know Jessica. Go to bring it down with Darth Vader going on the crowd. That's what this virus means, and if Daff Daddy doesn't mean we sing. Terry Prada, Mr. Stinager, gonna bring it down. This is integers, all bringing it's a common denominator. We're gonna see you later. La 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 la. Hey B.O.D. play hard 6, now I'm gonna go and see ya. A Lilith and Marv Vader, gonna bring it back up to ya. La 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 la. It was about the Naja 9 and bringing it back. We're gonna go with W West and we bring it right back. It's about Kimmy, it's about J Stone, it's about I Am Canadian, AML, and the rest of those hating. JT Waters and Tanya and everybody else in the crew runs with scissors still, but now we're deal. Hey, about this with Mr. Stony Wolf hanging out, we gonna play hard and go down to the cook. And that cook had to say, hey, I'm wearing gloves, cause I ain't eating your food unless you are, Doug. Hey Doug, thanks for hanging out and being with us, and you're almost as random as Mr. Random Steve. Hopping on a bus, but wait now, the buses have stopped now over there in Michigan. Whoa, 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 whoa. I've been walking down the street. I've been walking and seeing how the Fierce family. I've been walking down the street and see a mist in a jar on the way. I'm gonna bring it down. I said I'm gonna bring it down. Whoa, 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 whoa. And Robbie Morgan gonna see Landon Ernst and Hurtball too. I gotta see it back with the barefoot lass and the Dijanis Kiwi. I may have been exposed, I may have got a CV test tomorrow as I develop a fever now, and the CV triage at my local hospital will call me and let me know. Indigenous Kiwi says a other God doesn't give up, smoking in a G-Shock. Janimania, thanks for the follow, and I need to appreciate you. Gotta bring it back, gotta see it, yeah, gotta love it now. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. How many of y'all love to say hi? I love to say hi. How about you? Do you like to say hi? I like hi. This one's a little club beat. I turned the wrong knob. I like the way you are. should we change the chorus to now? I say we say that we've got a cow. Doesn't really matter, you guys create it, you say it in the chat. Create the chorus, say something like that. No CV tests, none in the West. Gonna bring it from the West, no CV tests. Gonna bring it from the West, gonna bring it from the West. I'm gonna bring it from the West. I'm sitting over here in the West. I'm sitting over here in the West. I don't want none of that CV tests. I'm sitting over here in the West. I don't know no mess in my nest. I've got empty nest. I ain't taking no CV test. I ain't no. Chuck that virus. Osiris. Screw Osiris. Chuck that virus. Screw that virus. I'm Osiris. Screw that virus. I'm Osiris. Screw that. Oh wait, it was Chuck. I already forgot. Much love, no. Take a DNA test a deal. I'm gonna bring it back. I don't Facebook. I don't love you. I don't love you. I don't Facebook too. I don't Facebook. I like the way you do. I don't Facebook and I love you. I don't Facebook and you should not too. 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 I like the way that Perla looks at Jim P. I like Chanteladin and says to Kim May. Does it matter? PG93 and the rest of the crew and the Spenny 340. I haven't seen you in a minute. Hey, I don't Facebook and you should not too. I don't Facebook and you should not too. I don't Facebook and you should not too. I'm a real chucker, better chuck that virus right now, better. You'll get better if you chuck that virus and get it better. FB equals evil, FB equals evil, FB equals evil, FB equals evil. I love you guys. Thank you so much for following us. Now, remember, you can go to marfugelnews.com to find any of this. Love you so much. Be safe. Be prepared. And you fill out the rest. Don't worry, I'll wait. Be safe, be prepared, and I don't Facebook and you should not too. 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 Thank you, Dorothy White, Conquest Josh, Michael Poole. I appreciate everything that you always do. Hey, Robin Morgan, thank you for everything you're doing. Landon Erson, Hurd, Bold, and Will for Laughs. If you were in the yesterday's show, I appreciate you so much. I just wanna go hug you. Susan Donahue is the rest of my crew, and Carol
should not too. I don't Facebook and you 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 should not too. I don't
You want to know what's going on? What's really going on? When it happens? Go to marfugelnews.com and get Marfugel alerts along with a Discord invitation where you can find your local state group and get together with the Fugel fam. You'll find fast friends where you'll share prep and intel, and there's even special groups for former and current military. But don't try and steal the valor of those who have really served. It won't go well for you. The Marfugel fam is waiting for you.